Hey, this is Ghost Tracks Podcast. I'm your host, Tina.
And I'm Molly.
And today we are here with Amanda Wyatt. We met Amanda at Greenwood Happy Haunts at our vending event for the podcast. Her and her boo came by our table and we got to talking. And she, well, recently got married. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And I think it was your honeymoon, right? You guys went
Yes.
over to Stanley. So she's here to talk about her experience there at the Stanley Hotel. And I think she's got some audio that she's going to send to us and we'll put that in later. But yeah, so you can go on ahead. Tell us. Well, first, how was your big day? How was your wedding?
I couldn't have asked for a better day. It was absolutely beautiful. We're so happy.
Did you guys get married here, like locally, or did you get
We
married
got
out?
married in Indianapolis. Uh-huh.
And I don't remember what day you guys got married. I think you told me it was like the 25th,
Yeah, we got
26th.
married on October 25th. Uh-huh.
Okay. And the weather's been pretty good up until the last few days. It was kinda raining. It cleared.
Right. We lucked out. It was a beautiful day. It was just a little chilly, so it was perfect.
Good, good. I'm glad to hear that. Indiana weather can kind of be moody. Alright, so then you guys flew out for your honeymoon, and you were at the
Yep.
Stanley.
We flew out Sunday morning. So bright and early we flew out and we got to Estes, Colorado around 11:30 in the morning.
Okay. And then you guys
So hmm?
I was just gonna say you guys went straight there. Did you guys do anything else
Yeah,
out there?
we drove straight from Denver Airport straight to the Stanley, and then, so just kind of a little background of why we chose the Stanley. So we are both horror movie enthusiasts, Stephen King fans, paranormal fans, the whole 9. So we wanted someplace that was gonna mean something to both of us, something we both have never experienced, and just to have, the beauty, the paranormal, the history, everything. Um, and we learned, as you'll come to find out, that everything we experienced, it was absolutely heartwarming. Like everything we felt, everything we saw, all the people and the paranormal activity that we found was absolutely heartwarming and just was a big hug, I guess you could say.
Good, it's better than the creepy stuff.
What was your first impression when you walked into the hotel? What's that?
What was your first impression when you walked into the hotel?
The first impression was just it, it takes your breath away. Like, immediately you open the door and the first thing you see is the staircase that they consider the portal, if you
Mhm.
will. That's the first thing you take eyes on, and with the sun coming in and it wasn't very busy, to be 100% honest, it was kinda slow. So we liked that, it wasn't too many people crossing paths, it was very, elegant, and the first thing you feel is just I don't wanna say opulence because it's not that fancy, but it's just pleasing overall. It's just wow. And I
Yeah.
expected to kind of feel
Well,
that cool rush, but it wasn't. It was just that warmth, like, "We want you here."
yeah. I'm a little shocked that it wasn't so busy given the history of the hotel and then, the horror fandom and stuff like that, and that it was so close to
Well,
Halloween.
it because it was so close to Halloween and a Sunday when we got there, it
Mhm.
did pick up later in the week because they were having a big Halloween festival thing there right as we were leaving, so it got busier as we were leaving.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes a little more sense. This is one I've never even been to Colorado. I've been to, I don't know, 48 states, and Colorado's not one of them yet.
Oh,
So
it's so wonderful, you have to take the trip, even if it's not to the Stanley, which I will recommend the Stanley 1000%, but
we're
Colorado is stunning.
Without a doubt.
we'll definitely be hitting up the Stanley at one point, but yeah, I love the mountains, so I guess I'm a little shocked at
Mhm.
myself that I haven't
And
gone.
and we saw the rut, so the rut is when all the elks are coming through, so it was elk city, everywhere the bull elks and the females were everywhere just hanging out.
That would have been a dream.
Oh, yeah. You would have been hearing Tina go, "Look at that! Look at
"Come
this! Look
here,
at that!"
I wanna pet it." But I
Oh, yeah.
won't because I know better. Because I
Safe
lived
to
in
s
Right, right.
I will not be on the news, at least not intentionally.
There was somebody, I guess there was a tourist that was there and was from out of state and was trying to pet the elk, and the elk was putting his head down, which means, "I'm going to kill you,"
Oh.
and
Oh, yeah.
so they had to, like, get the cops and say, "Sir, run away, you're gonna die."
Mhm. Yep, that happens so I've been to Yellowstone, and that happens a lot in Yellowstone. We
Oh,
were
yeah.
there in 2020,
Oh.
and there were a bunch of, the bison, and we had there were just crap ton of them, and they were on the road and everything, and I did get out to take pictures, and I have photos of them, but I was like, "I am not getting anywhere near this," so I took them out in the field, of them out in the field and everything, and then we left and got to our campsite. Not even 30 minutes later, a lady was impaled by a bison
Oh
because
my
she
god.
was right up next to it trying to take a
Mhm.
picture of it, and I'm like, "These are whole wild animals." Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
can't.
that is yeah, no, that's a no touch.
Yeah, so but I'm sure those poor park people, the workers there,
Yeah.
they're just so used to it. I mean, and
Yeah.
they did have somebody out there directing them
It's
and,
very
like,
common.
telling people, like, "Keep a safe distance," but people are just ding dongs. Gonna do it anyway. So,
Mhm.
Listen.
but gosh, I woulda loved to see the elk out there that just in the mountains. So did you guys choose one of the, like, famously haunted rooms, or did you stay on a floor that was particularly
Oh,
haunted?
we requested,
Mm.
and, when you book with them, you have to do it almost exactly 1 year to the date because the haunted rooms or the haunted suites book so fast. So we
Right.
booked our haunted suite, last October.
Okay.
And we originally were going to get the king suite, and, when we asked the lady, "Is that one of the most haunted?" She said, "No, not really, it's just the name." And I said, "Well,
Mhm.
that's not fun for me. I want, what in the other ones." And so she said, "Well, we've got, the cowboy, which is more aggressive, so I guess he will push a male in the room, and he will, he's aggressive, he doesn't like men in the room, but he does like ladies in the room, and he'll give the ladies a kiss." And I'm like, "Alright, it's our honeymoon, I don't want anything aggressive happening to you, so let's avoid that one," and we picked the haberdasher. So if you're not familiar with the haberdasher suite, that is the one where it is, supposedly a dapper dressed man of the 1920s that hangs out in the corner of the room and just kind of watches you and goes
Mhm.
back and forth to his closet.
Okay.
So we picked that one.
I love a closet king, I guess.
And in the
Just
closet of the room, it was really neat because there's a motion sensor lit shadow box in the wall full of relics of the time and, hat making stuff and shoes and shoe polish all in that closet, so it's like they were inviting him to go into the closet the way they set it up.
That's really cool, I love that.
Oh, yeah,
Did
it
they
was awesome.
offer tours while you were there?
Absolutely. So you can do the when you get a suite, automatically when you get a suite, you get a bottle of champagne or wine, and you get a free tour of your choice if you want to do the paranormal tour or the Shining tour. And because the Shining wasn't officially filmed there, it was filmed on a set in England. We chose to do the paranormal tour because that was going to be the most interesting to us.
Oh,
That is
absolutely.
hell yeah. Well, now we know what we're gonna do in the
Yes.
future.
Right. Oh, do the paranormal tour. It's cool.
Yeah, I love that they are embracing that because I know a lot of and I think at one point they weren't
Yeah.
embracing, like, the paranormal side of
Weren't. It was
years.
more for staying and being an actual hotel itself and
Mhm.
a little bit of a resort, and then over the last, I wanna say 15, 20 years, it seems like, they've branched out and said, "Okay, this is what's drawing the people, this is what they wanna see," and that's 100% right.
Right. Yeah, because I know it's fluctuated over the years, so I'm glad that they're embracing the weirdness for all of us people that enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right.
Um, did you guys meet any other guests there and kinda talk to anyone there
Oh,
that were all
absolutely.
same
So, we talked to several people. So, the first night and the second night, we met a young couple. They were probably in their early 20s, and they were there just to kind of experience. They weren't there on like a honeymoon or anything. But they had issues, and it seemed like everybody had issues with their TV Sunday, or their TVs weren't working.
Oh,
And so we didn't really think much about it because we weren't really there to watch TV, so we didn't say anything the first night, but this young couple was saying that their TV was busted. They called down to the front desk and said, "Hey, can you come fix this?" And, they went about their business, and when they came back to the room, the person that came to fix it said there was nothing wrong with it. It in fact, it was on a horror movie when we walked in.
Oh, no.
well,
They were like,
He
"Oh,
said,
we haven't even had the TV on."
"We wanna watch
I
what
was like,
we
"Oh,
want."
that's awesome. That's really cool." So we kind of were hoping that our TV would have mysteriously pop on. It didn't. We did have to have them come fix ours. Um, and
Like,
then
"Wait,
we
do you
actually
click?"
ran into them a couple of times in the hallway when we were doing our own personal ghost tour.
Mhm. Well, that's
And then we talked to several of the staff as we walked through, the people in the whiskey bar or the whiskey vault in the basement area. We talked to
mhm.
them and they told us great stories about, she said that she'd been working there for about 4 or 5 years, and you'll definitely tell that the staff have a deep, deep love for this whole building and all the grounds. Like, they love what they do, and they love the spirits, but she said that management does a really, really fast and rapid turnover, that they change managers like crazy, because as
Mhm.
soon as they start getting too big for their britches or a little bit of a manager head, it's almost like Mr. and Mrs. Stanley, FO and Flora Stanley are saying, "Not this house, not
D
here," and then they're out, like, they're gone, like, they don't know what happened, but they're fired, or that they
uh,
never come back. Um, some of the staff won't go into some of the rooms because the paranormal activity is so strong that they just don't like it, so they won't go in there. There is no room service, there is no maid service, it is request only, and you get your own stuff.
oh,
I can
damn.
imagine it's a huge
Yeah.
hotel. They'd
Yeah.
be running all over the place.
Right, so if you need something, you just have to call to the front desk, um, but yeah, everyone there has their own story, has their own thing to share, even the lady from the whiskey vault, when we were talking to her about what we had experienced, she got, like, this major cold chill on one of her shoulders, and she just shook real hard and was like, "Oh, they like when we talk about them." She like, it happens." So, it's a little bit of everywhere.
They said, "We're the stars of the show over here."
That's it, they are the stars of the show. Uh We did the seance that there's a seance that they host there multiple times a day,
Mhm.
and it's the same person that does, like, another magic show in one of the restaurants on site. We did do the seance, and the seance was insane.
Oh
So,
gosh.
I can talk to you a little bit about the seance if you want.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
So, we got the tickets for the seance, and I have a thing where I don't do Ouija boards. I had asked her about the Ouija board because I have issues with being around Ouija boards, and she said, "There's one in the room. He does
Mhm.
not use it." And I said, "Okay, if that's the case." And she said, "It's a lot of theatrics, but it's really, really fascinating what happens." And I said, "Okay, well, we'll do it." And we did I wanna say it was like 11 o'clock. It's 2 hours, so it was 1 o'clock when we left, 1 o'clock in the morning. And, you go into this absolutely stunning room full of, oddities and artifacts, and everything in there from what he says has got a story behind it, every
Mhm.
piece. And I mean, like, it's locked down tight, you cannot go in when he's not in there, there's cameras all around the ceiling because they wanna make sure that nothing is stolen, and
Right.
he points that out and lets you know, like, if you think anything is being filmed and that's how I'm finding out, that I just want you to know it's CCTV, it's just to make sure that nobody's breaking in.
Right.
So you start out sitting around, and there was about 12 people in this circle. You cannot break the circle. You have to go all the way around the chairs. And we weren't looking. We weren't looking at where we were going in the room, just as much as finding a seat. And my husband and I sat down, and it was the host, my husband, myself, and then it just kind of wrapped in a circle. As soon as we sat down, my husband looked at me and he said, "Please don't look behind you." And I flipped my camera on and turned it backwards facing, and the homemade Ouija board of Flora Stanley was behind my head.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Oh, phenomenal. This is gonna be great. And so the beginning of it, he just does an introduction and tells you about his history and what he's done over the years as far as this type of work and, paranormal and psychic abilities and whatnot. And so he has it's a ledger, and the ledger is supposedly be one of the original ledgers from the hotel from back when it first opened in 1909.
Mhm.
And he passes it around, and you're supposed to put your hand on the book and kind of focus and put your energy on it. And if a bell rings or anything moves or flashes, that means that a spirit, unknown what spirit it is, but has chosen you. And
Mm.
then we'll go from there. Well, he gives it to my husband and just kind of go around in a circle. It didn't choose him. Nothing happened. It passed over to me. I put my hand on it. I focused as hard as I could, and a bell went off. Little doors started flapping. Kind
Yeah,
of. It almost felt like an audio animatronic room in Disneyland. The way that things kind of move. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
that's probably part of the show. And he said, okay, on the front of the ledger, there's a phone number on the bottom of the book. I need you to, and it's a back in that time that there was no area codes and things like that, so it was a shorter
Mhm.
phone number. He said, "Take those numbers, scramble them in your own head, and come up with a three-digit number of your choosing. It does not matter how you do it." And I said, "Okay." So
Math.
the first 3 digits were what's that?
I said math.
Math. I didn't wanna math in this. So I
Alright.
said, "Okay."
Not what I
The
signed up
first
for.
3 was Huh?
This is not what I signed up for.
Right. So I said, "Okay, 513. I'm gonna choose 513." It was the first thing that spot out to me. He said, "So now open the ledger and flip through until you find guest number 513."
Mhm.
Okay. Flip through, found 513, and he said, don't tell me who it is. Don't do anything like that. But I'm gonna guess that it's a female. Yes, it's a female." He said, "Okay, is she a young woman?" Well, she was 42. So to me, that's younger than myself. I don't know what
Mhm.
he's constituting as young. And I said, "Well, what's young to you? Because it may or may not be young." And he said, "Well, is she younger than me?" And I said, "Well, I don't know how old you are, but I'm going to say, yes, she's younger than you." And he said, "Okay." He said, "You have Margaret Brown." I said,
Mhm.
"Yes, I do. I have Margaret Brown." And he said, "Well, does that name ring a bell to you?" And I said, "Well, no. I mean, I know ladies named Margaret, but I don't know this one." He said, "Do you remember the Titanic?"
Oh,
And
Molly
I
Brown.
Yes. He said,
Yeah.
"That is the unthinkable Molly Brown, and she was a regular here." And I said, "Oh my god," and then, of course, then the door started flapping again and like, "Yay," like an applause. And he said, "Well, she's chosen you for the night," and that
Oh,
actually comes up multiple times in our trip, even after the seance. She stuck
dude,
with me.
I have chills.
Love
It was
that.
so
That's
wild. We do that, and I'm like, "Okay, Molly Brown, that's cool." And he goes around the room, and he takes a cup with a die in it, and you have to shake the die, and you don't tell him what it is, and he guesses your number, and then he tells you personal things about yourself and,
Mhm.
like, history, like, things that nobody should know.
Yeah.
And he had one lady in tears about a story from her mother when she was, like, 4 years old, and he got another lady what said, "I don't wanna talk about it," and was like, "No, sir, no." And he got to my husband because he did
Mhm.
one, and he's like and I kept thinking in the back of my head, like, I'm trying to do it with him, like, I'm gonna see if I can guess the numbers, and I kept
Right.
thinking 3, the number 3, somebody they got a 3. No, 5, 2, 1, like, I keep thinking 3, and it's, like, screaming in the back of my head, 3. Guess
Mhm.
who rolled a 3? My husband,
Oh.
No,
and then
wow.
he looked at my husband, and he said mind you, he's wearing just a plain dress shirt, nothing crazy, just very nice dress. He said, "You have an extreme love of music. Like,
Mhm.
everything in your life every person, every moment, every memory has a song or a musician, and you collect music," which is 100% true. We're vinyl collectors,
Oh,
and
I love
every
that.
moment in his life, he has a song to it, and I looked at the guy, and I was like, "No lies detected. You got it." Was
That's
Aw.
wild,
amazing.
and then he had around the table,
Mhm.
he had 4 cards, like business cards and an ink pen, and he said, "I need any of you, doesn't matter who, pick a card, and then you have to think of a happy moment in your life. It could be a person, place, thing, or what have you, it doesn't matter, but a happy something that makes you happy,
Mhm.
and write it on the card, 1 to 2 words, face down, don't show anyone, and then when you're done, hand it to me." So, I went ahead and did it. because nobody else was grabbing. I think everybody at this point was spooked, so I'm like, I'll do it. Nobody said anything about me yet. So I'm trying to throw him off. That's my goal. I want to see if this is bunk.
Right.
And I thought, okay, it's obvious that my husband is a happy place. It's obvious that traveling may be a happy place. Those are common knowledge things. I'm going to pick something from my childhood that nobody can guess. And so I wrote the smell of gasoline because I have a happy story of the smell of gasoline as a child being associated to bubblegum.
Sorry, what
So,
was
so he said, whenever you're finished, you hand it back. I gave him my card. He got everyone across the room. And when I was saying, like, he was pinpointing down to the city, state, the year, he was pinpointing it down to these people. He got to mine and he's holding it and he's looking at me and he's very confused. And he's got a Zippo lighter next to his chair and he's clicking it and he's looking at me and he's like, my grandfather loved pipe tobacco and pipes. I thought for a split second that my late grandfather had come and visited me because I have his whole collection of vintage pipes and all of his things from back in
Mhm.
the '40s. I'm like, "Oh my god, he got my grandpa," and that wasn't intentional. But he
Right.
looked at me and he said, "I love the smell of pipe tobacco, but I'm so confused. It is not pipe tobacco. Was this from a friend?" And I said, "Well, I guess, kind of." He
Right.
said, "Why gasoline? Why do you like the smell of gasoline?" And I looked at him and I said, "You got it. There's a story behind it." And he said, "Please do tell because I don't understand." And so I told him
Mhm.
about going to the gas station when I was a kid at the full service gas station, and the attendant, like 5, 6, 7 years old, would hand you a piece of bubble gum from the double bubble bucket. So
Uh-huh.
as a kid, I smelled gasoline, I got bubble gum, kind of a Pavlov dog.
Mhm.
Pavlov's bell thing, and I'm like, "That's what made me joy, that's what gets why when I still get gas, I think of bubble gum." And he's like, "That's phenomenal, but I would never have understood that." That he's like, "I just kept smelling gasoline and thinking gasoline, and why is she happy?"
'Cause I'm one of those weirdos that like the gas smell too.
Right, it's a fun smell. And so we did that, and that was pretty much the wrap up from there, and he, we told him thank you and whatnot. Molly Brown followed me because, uh we were driving around and shopping in downtown Estes, and we ended up finding the original home to the Stanleys, their original house, while the
Okay.
Stanley was being built. It was not intentional, we just landed there,
Mhm.
and we walked up, found out you had to do the tickets online, like, "Oh, shoot, we messed up." And a lady opened the door, her name was Betsy, she's one of the tour guides, and she said, I said, "We're here on our honeymoon, we messed up, whatever," and she said, "Oh my goodness, come in." She did a private tour for us the next morning, so she had time to prep, and when
Okay.
she walked us into the Stanleys, I would call it a sitting room because they had a piano in there and a whole bunch of things for having guests, and a
Mhm.
lot of the stuff there was original, some had to be replicas, but a lot of it was original, and she said, "Have you folks ever heard of Molly Brown?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, she picked me last night." She's like, "She used to hang out here quite a bit with the Stanleys." Oh, it's like she wanted to see it. So, like, "Okay, yeah," and she's like, "Oh, yeah," she would count on it, and she wanted to join the big society. Huh?
She was your chaperone for the day.
Right, it felt like she wanted me to see what she experienced, and she was like, well, she was a very, uh, strong-willed woman, a lot of, at the time, very masculine attributes because she took nothing from nobody, and
Mhm.
I'm a very similar personality, so it was like she kind of took a kinship to me, like, "Come on, little one, let's go over here. I'll show you
Right.
my favorite place." But if when you go to the Stanley, it's maybe a quarter mile to a mile down the road from the
Mhm.
hotel, but you have to pass all the shops and stuff, but you'll
Uh-huh.
see it, their original house, and you'll get to do it. I didn't feel anything in that home,
Mhm.
but the fact that we ended up there was really cool. Uh, the paranormal tour itself.
Mhm.
Have you either of you heard of, the little girl in the cellar that moves the dum-dums?
Yes.
Okay. So, we brought dum-dums, and it was really sweet because if you walk through the hotel, even in spots she wasn't in and never
Mhm.
supposed to be in, people were leaving offerings of dum-dums throughout the hotel in random places, so that was fun. But we went to the tour, didn't really feel or see anything on the tour itself. I'm guessing because it's so frequented by people all the time that they don't wanna hang out, and I don't blame them. But you go underneath uh, the concert hall, you go underneath the belly of the concert hall, and you go into a dark corridor. He lines everyone up, and he gives you a dum-dum if you don't have one, and you put it sitting straight up in your hand, and
Right.
you have to make sure that your hand is steady because if it wiggles, then it can move itself.
Right.
And he shuts off the light and said, "You've gotta call for Lucy. You gotta call for her and tell her that you got candy." And so I was calling for her, not everybody did, but a few people did, like, "Hey, we've got candy, come on out, Lucy." And I kid you not, it was sitting straight up, and it was dark, so I couldn't see, but I felt it go like this and just sit, and I felt it like this and just sit, and then I felt it hit
Yep.
and then spin to where the stick was pointing at me, like,
Oh,
fast, like,
yeah.
and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then my husband, he had one, his was up, went he said it went between his fingers and then completely spun to where the stick was pointing at me again.
Oh, neat.
And when he clicked on the lights, there was 2 girls standing on this side of me. One of them had her face so close to my hand and went, "What the." And not everybody's moved. Not everyone's moved. It was just maybe about half of us in there that and I was like, "Did everybody get the same feeling of it, like, pausing and moving, like, slow motion?" Some had the
Mhm.
slow-mo, some had the rapid. Um, I think only that I talked to me and Andy that we were the only 2 that actually felt it spin
And
that we
okay.
talked to. I don't know if anybody else spun. That was epic. That was one of the most incredible things I felt there. Uh but yeah, the ghost tour itself wasn't really spooky. It was just
Mhm.
interesting to see the underbelly and have the little ghost girl move your candy for you. It was the
Yeah.
hallways and the actual hotel itself where we got the most activity.
Mhm.
So, in our room, in the Haberdasher suite, when we first got there, uh, we've got foul mouths. We cuss like sailors at a regular basis, right? It's part of our vernacular.
Yeah.
And so we go in the room and we're unpacking, and I go out to go get a coffee or something to come back, and he met me outside the room, and he was white as a sheet and was like, "I feel like someone is telling me to watch my mouth." And I
Oh,
said,
yeah.
"Well, what?" He said, "I was in there and I stubbed my toe and I just started cussing because, it hurt, and it felt like somebody whooshed past me and said, 'Watch your mouth.'"
Like, watch your
And I was like,
profane.
that was probably either Elizabeth, the former maid that was blown up in the hotel but survived. It could have been her because she makes rounds. It could have been Mr. or Mrs. Stanley, but he's like, "It felt like my mom told me to watch my mouth." And I
Okay.
said, "Okay." And then
Swear
when
when
I went back up with that,
I said, "We'll make sure to swear when we go there."
when I went back up and he had taken a nap, I got this whoosh of "Don't be a slob" kind of a thing, like, "Don't destroy my room.
Mhm.
Make sure you pick up after yourself." And man, I went along and I made sure that
Mhm.
things were in the drawers and things were I'm like, "That's like my mom telling me to pick up my room kind of a feeling. That was weird." Well, then we put the cat balls out because we got some cat balls and we got the whole
Mhm.
kit. So we put the cat balls out in different parts of the room, and really nothing was flashing, nothing moved, and we waited for a while, and nothing moved, and we're like, "Okay, maybe this is a residual. Maybe this is just he doesn't even know it's just a stamp in time, and he goes to his closet and sits on the couch.
Right.
That's why he's not doing anything." And then I got up and walked over because there's 2 windows, one over here that looks the mountains and one over here that looks over, like, the veranda area.
Mhm.
And I walked over to get something off of the dresser, came back, and as I'm walking, not before I hit it and not when I hit it, the cat ball started lighting up as I walked away from them, almost like they were walking behind me to make sure I was doing what I needed to do.
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Did I kick it? Did I move it?" And Andy's eyes were huge. He was like, "You didn't touch it. It's lighting up after, like, 2 steps, like it's walking behind you."
Oh, no.
I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." I said, "We need to talk to them.
Yes.
We need to see who's here."
Mhm.
So, we tried our EMF reader to see if we got any flashes, any red or anything. We got a little bit. We started getting it, uh, on the couch that faces the veranda, and then it just started moving closer and closer to, like, the bed area and the sitting area for your, what do you call that? Like, you put on your shoes, that kind of a bench. It started getting closer and closer to that, and so I have apps on my cell phone where it does the and I don't know what it's called, but it's whenever you speak and then the audio crackles and you hear a word or 2 words.
Oh, like a spirit box or ghost tube?
Kind of like that.
Okay.
So we turned that on, and, the audio clipping that I'm gonna send you was, like, one of the only ones I was able to save, uh, but we had a 30-minute conversation with 3 voices,
Okay.
3 distinct voices. One was a very even keel, very pleasant male tone.
Mhm.
One was a very, very soft, very, maternal woman's voice.
Mhm.
The 3rd voice was a very not gruff, but very baritone
Yeah.
voice,
Okay.
and he didn't speak as much.
Mhm.
He was kind of here in between. The female voice and the even tone male voice, they talked to us the most. The woman's voice was so faint, and I'm hard of hearing, so it was hard for me to pick up what she said, uh,
Mhm.
and Andy was having a little bit of trouble. But the first thing we asked was, if they knew that we were there on our honeymoon, because we booked it as a honeymoon, everything on our reservation said honeymoon, so we didn't know if they knew.
Right.
The first thing they said was it was the male voice, the nice male voice, said, "Till death, clear as
Ah.
day."
Mm.
And we looked at each other and we were like, "Oh my god, till death do us part." And one of the things that we had at our wedding was a
Mhm.
plaque that said, "Till death."
Oh, that's
And
cool.
I'm like, "Oh, that's wonderful."
That's really
And
cool.
so we said, "Is this Mr. Stanley?" Thinking, "Okay, who this could be? Is this Mr. Stanley?" I wish I had this audio to share with you. We heard his violins.
Oh, cool.
We heard his violins just go, and we're like, "Mr. Stanley?" And we had, like, a garble, and then we heard the female voice. It sounded like it was a greeting of some sort, but we couldn't make her out, but it was almost like a welcome here or we welcome, something like that.
Yeah.
And then we got the baritone,
Mhm.
just a "Uh, uh." So we think, this is our thought, we think that was Lord Dunraven. If you're not familiar with Lord Dunraven, the Stanley property was his first.
Okay.
He was a wealthy, like a gazillionaire from Ireland and
Mhm.
went to Estes Park for game preserve and to hunt.
Okay.
And when that fell through, he sold the property to the Stanleys, and that's why Lord Dunraven has a room, and his room, Lord Dunraven's, was in the same path, like 2 doors down from our room.
Okay. Yeah, so
Yeah, so he was real close, so I'm thinking, "Okay, that's Lord Dunraven and Mr. and Mrs. Stanley."
Uh-huh.
So we talked to them for a little bit, and then it was like, "Okay, I feel like we're taking up all of their time, maybe they wanna go somewhere else."
Right.
So we said goodbye, thanked them for allowing us to stay there, and we turned off. Later on that evening, we decided to roam the halls,
Mhm.
and to our surprise, it was just us and that young couple that we had met before, uh, or met later on. We were the only 2 that I saw actually walking on our own.
Gotcha.
So, the 4th floor. Huh?
I just said, "Oh, okay, I gotcha."
Right.
Mhm.
So we stayed on the 4th floor because that's considered the most haunted.
Mhm.
King Suite is the room that blew up in 1911, and that's where Elizabeth fell through to the ballroom. So that floor is really not known for much. So we stayed with the 4th floor, and I used my and you'll have to help me out because 'cause I'm not sure what it's called, but it gives you the green stick figures of when a body is there.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's a
another form of ghost tube.
yeah, it's SOS,
Mhm.
ghost tube SOS.
Okay, yep. So I'm using that going through. Didn't see anything for a long time. This was probably about 2 or so in the morning. Didn't see anything, and then as I'm walking down, there's a long corridor that, uh, you get to the end, and it's an actual door that you can walk down like a spiral staircase outside,
Mhm.
and when I looked down, there were several and just kind of like hop, hop, hop all the way down the hallway of what would be about the size of a 5 to 6-year-old child sitting spread leg like they're playing jacks or they're playing
Okay,
like a ball. They were
yeah,
like they were just all over,
wow.
and I'm hollering, I'm like, "Little kids, these are little kids." And and then I panned up to the doors thinking, "Okay, is anybody near a door?"
Mhm.
I saw them walking through the different doors, sporadically down the hallways of, like, they're
Oh,
going back to their rooms.
yeah.
That's so
It was
awesome.
wild, and then they have mirrors everywhere, and they have mirrors facing mirrors,
Well, creating portals, yeah.
which to me, a mirror facing a mirror is not a good idea. That
No!
Yeah, they all face each other in the portal area.
I think
Well,
that's the plan.
but yeah,
I think
they're
that was planned because that draws things.
Yeah.
So, they have a giant mirror on the 4th floor that's so stunning and elaborate. It's gotta be about 8 feet high by about 7 feet wide. It's massive. I panned towards it, and I started seeing figures walking out of the mirror and down towards the corridor. I'm like, "Okay, I don't know if I wanna stick here very much longer, but they're here." So, we went downstairs back to the main entry staircase, right? And I'm taking photographs thinking maybe I'll catch I didn't get anything on a physical photograph, and that was my
Mhm.
one of my goals. I didn't get anything on a physical photograph, so I'm sitting there at the bottom of the stairwell, and I'm doing selfies and just trying to get as much as I can, right?
Right.
Andy tells me he has to use the restroom, and there's a restroom directly underneath the staircase off to the side. And I said, "Okay, that's fine." So I'm taking selfies, and he comes back out, and he said, "Who you talking to?" I mean, like, didn't hadn't seen me yet, nothing. He's like, "Who you talking to? You talking to that couple again?" And I said, "What? What do you mean?" He said, "Are you not talking to someone?" I said, "I haven't said a word. I'm taking selfies." He said, "Oh my god, I heard you and someone else talking in the bathroom." I s
He
"Wasn't
didn't.
me." I said,
Oh,
"What were
good.
they saying?
Mhm.
What did they say?" And he's like, "I couldn't make it out," but he said, "It was your tone of voice." It was a definitely a female tone, and it was conversing with another female tone, but it was so muddled that I couldn't pinpoint a word, but I thought, "Oh, she ran into that young couple that we saw earlier." I
Mhm.
said, "No, babe, I'm literally just hanging out." He said, "Oh,
Just
don't." It freaked
just
him out.
roll around.
So
Yeah.
I went into the bathroom. He said, "Go into the bathroom and see if you can record." Nothing. Dead silent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Um, that was the big things there. Trying to think if there was another one. The number 3 kept sticking with me the whole trip. We
Mhm.
had the 3 at the seance.
Right.
Uh, we pulled up to a gas station, not looking, just pulled in Estes. It was pump number 3. We went to, a restaurant in the Stanley, Cascades, it's their fancy restaurant in there,
Mhm.
and when I got my receipt, it was ticket number 3, and
And
every the number 3 I don't know why, I don't know how, I don't know the purpose of it, but number 3 was everywhere,
sounds like you
all
need to.
the way until we got into our flight. When we got on our flight, we went to Terminal 3.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Well, 3 is an
So that
infinite
that
number.
was wild, but I will say Oh, the gentleman who hosted the seance and even the people in the hotel said, "There's nothing negative here. Not a bit of negativity is here. It's all
Yeah.
positive because all the spirits that are here are either former staff, former guests, or Mr. and Mrs. Stanley. It's because they love it here so much that they want to be back."
Right.
And that was the feeling we got throughout the whole thing was it was that's why I was saying it was like a big hug. It was a welcome. It was like, "Enjoy our home." The whole
Yes.
experience was
Mhm.
just loving.
They're on a permanent vacation.
They are. And we agreed while we were there that when we turn into ghosts, we are to meet
Right?
back at the Stanley.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
If I wasn't convinced before, I am now.
Yeah.
Like
You
No,
should
I
be. It's wonderful. It's like a day spa for ghosts.
Molly and I are gonna get on, and we're gonna book tickets tonight, I think,
Yeah.
for next
Please.
year.
Do you have any plans to go back?
Oh, yes. In fact, they are doing a concert for and y'all are younger than I am, but they're having a 30th anniversary tour of Squirrel Nut Zippers. They were popular in the '90s, and I wanna go back for that concert. So and that's in, like, March, so I may be going back sooner than later,
Oh,
Do
wow.
it. Do it.
and I would definitely get a haunted suite again.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna be our goal for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we can convince the other paranormal group that we usually are with. We'll just do a big group trip out there, and we'll each get a room.
Yep. We're gonna try to book each haunted
Oh, yeah.
I get Emily
Everybody get one. I've seen the groups do, like, 5 rooms and do as many rooms as they can, split them up, and now the
awesome.
suites are bigger. Uh,
Mhm.
the regular rooms are pretty tiny from what I could see, uh, and even Lord Dunraven's room, this is kind of not really paranormal, it was just sweet, but it was right after we had the morning after we had spoke to the 3 disembodied voices,
Mhm.
we had wanted to see Lord Dunraven's room because his is very unique to the entire hotel. He's got his own balcony, he's got wooden paneled ceilings, he's got all kinds of, artifacts and pictures of him throughout his room.
Lord.
And when I walked down the hallway, his room was open and the staff was cleaning it, and being the nosy Nancy I am, I stuck my head in and I'm like, I and I the this, the person cleaning the room popped up and he was like and I was like, "I just wanted to see it." And he was like, "Come on in. Come on in." And so I was like, "Oh my
See.
I just wanna see it." But
Yeah.
everybody there is absolutely wonderful. I can't wait to hear what you guys find out when you go.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
It's
we will
absolutely
definitely
worth it.
awesome. Well, we're excited.
Uh-huh.
I'm so happy that you
Yeah.
reached back out. I mean, when we met you, you told us that you were going, so I'm really excited you reached out and
I'm so
let us
glad to share it with you, and like I said, I wanted you to hear it first because it was so
Oh,
much
yeah.
to experience.
Yeah.
You gave me lots of goosebumps because I was like, "Oh, this just sounds cool."
Yeah.
It was
No,
fantastic.
thank you so much for
You're a
coming
great
on.
storyteller.
Yes.
Thank you.
Time. Um, but yeah, you can go ahead and send us the audio, and then we'll add it
Okay.
in at the end, and we'll just do a little blurb about it. We'll probably discuss what we were kinda hearing for it, and yeah, and then we'll tag you on because 'cause we'll do little clips, and we'll put it on
Mhm.
TikTok and tag you in it.
And do you have a piece of advice for those who are gonna go, like maybe something you could have done differently?
I would say if I could have done anything different, um, I would have recorded more of the audio. I didn't realize I wasn't that I had the opportunity to record, so I would say record everything you can, even if you don't look at it right away, just blast it, just as many as you can. Um, going outside the actual facility at night, I wish we had done more of that by ourselves. It
Mhm.
was cold, so,
Yeah.
staying outside wasn't as great, but I wish I would have gone more outside of the grounds and the gardens late at night, um,
Yeah.
and I would say there's a restaurant called the Post Chicken and Beer. It's as soon
Mhm.
as you pull into the grounds. First off, the
Uh-huh.
food is delicious, but underneath, they have it's where the bathrooms are, but they've got a library of books, and they do another type of paranormal activity show. I wish I would have done that. And yeah, they have a it's the same guy that does the seance, but he does another thing that's separate down there in, like, this basement area. I
Mhm.
wish I would have gotten more, like, and used my readers down there. I wish I would have taken more pictures down there, and I wish I would have done that seance or whatever it is that he's doing in that room. I met
Okay.
one girl that did it, and she was so spooked, she refused to speak to him at all during the seance because she said it freaked her out so bad, she won't talk to him again.
Wow.
Oh gosh. Well, that's awesome. No, you've given us lots to
Yep.
consider
Got me very
and look
excited.
into, so we're thankful for you. I'm
Yes.
glad that
I'm
we made.
thankful that the opportunity to share this with you. I was so happy to do this.
Yeah. No. Alright. Well, we will talk to you soon. Thank you for coming on here. We appreciate you, and have a good day,
You
and I'm glad
too.
congratulations again
Yes, absolutely. I
on
think
your
that's the
nuptials.
best
Thank
honeymoon
you.
that
Both of you have a great day.
Right, the best honeymoon, we're jealous.
I know. I was thinking, like, could we say we're on our
Right,
honeymoon?
yes. They don't need to know.
Well, thank
Alright.
you, ladies. I appreciate you.
Thank you so
Of course,
much.
have a good day, thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. That was
Alright.
awesome.
Yeah, no, well, it's
That
just
was
us
so
here. I'm still
oh.
recording. She's like, "We're gonna talk."
Yeah.
No, so Amanda, thank you again. I know she's off of here, but we had a great time. Like I said, just one of those random encounters that we
Yeah.
had out in town. We were at a local like spooky store here in town. They do vending events every month, and we had signed up. I mean, I was pretty much signed up all year for all of their events, and we went out there for our podcast finally.
Mhm.
And she was probably one of the very first people that came through, and
Yep.
we talked to her and her then fiance, now husband. But yeah, she reached out just a couple days ago actually and was like, "We just got back from the Stanley and I can't wait to tell you about it." So I was like, "Girl, let's go. How about Sunday?"
Yeah, I was just intently listening. I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh my god, okay, seance,
right.
noted.
Yeah.
Okay, spooky tour, noted." And then she starts talking about the garden at night, okay, noted.
Yep.
And then, like, using the ghost tube SLS in the hallway.
Mhm.
That's a good idea.
Apparently there's a bunch of kids that play
Play
jacks or
jacks,
something.
the bouncy ball and those little jack
Yeah.
things. I used to
Yep.
play that when I was a kid.
So did I.
Oh, we could bring some and maybe it'll play with them.
Here we go.
Ooh.
See, we're making lists. We're gonna
Yep.
have to get a hold of IPSI, call our
Yep.
ghost buddies and be like, "We're going on a
Ring, ring,
trip.
ring, ring. Oh my
We're
god,
going on
we
a
should
trip."
make a funny video of that.
Yeah.
Like, we need funny looking phones
Yes.
where they, like, pick up, like, "Hey, this is Molly and Tina. We need you.
We gotta hunt. We gotta go.
The ghost needs you."
Yeah. No, we're definitely trying to get our 2026 spooky full
Yes.
of awesomeness, and then some concerts in there too, so because 'cause we're going
Mhm.
to Bad Omens,
Oh my god.
so and that's in February, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
February
February.
20 something. 23rd?
No, 17th.
17th? I
Anyway,
sworn there was a 20.
we're going. It's a long drive, but we're excited, and we're hopefully, fingers crossed, everybody cross your fingers and whisper it into the universe that Heather from Tell Me a Scary Story podcast is able to go because I bought her a ticket just in case. Um, if she can't go, we're just bringing the husband.
He's
But
a fill-in.
yeah, he's the fill-in, the fill-in. Um but but if she goes, then we're definitely doing some weird shit out there, so
Yeah. I
spooky
mean,
related.
I think for sure we're planning on doing the Bell
Either way,
Cave.
we're gonna do some weird
I
shit,
wanna see
but
the Bell Caves this year.
yes.
I'd love to see the Warrens Museum, but it's a little pricey and a little bit harder to
Yeah.
film. But I
What? Prices! Guys,
scared all of a sudden.
we are working on a merch store.
Oh, hello.
I got that ready yesterday. I have the link. We're preparing, like, we've gotta, like, design the stuff and put it all in there, but yeah, if you guys want Ghost Tracks podcast merch from us and all of our awesomeness,
What you do.
which
Trust
you
me.
do because they're great
Trust.
designs, because Molly's a badass. But we're gonna have that up and available. We'll announce it on socials. Obviously, the next time we're on here, which should be very soon, um, we'll announce it here too and tell you all about it. But everything that comes from selling those products is going to go directly into saving for more creepy fucking trips. So,
Mhm.
we're
More spooky
excited.
stories to
Yeah.
tell.
And so yeah, we're hopefully gonna hit Waverly Hills, Trans-Allegheny, Ohio State Reformatory.
Mm.
There's a couple other Indiana places. We were out doing weird stuff yesterday with my husband. He chauffeured us and was
Protected us
bodyguarding
from
us
the
and
crazy looking mountain men.
yeah, we did. And no, they were very nice. It was just a little unsettling being out in the middle of fucking nowhere, and then all of a sudden, no less than like 8
Muddy ass vehicles.
vehicles that look like they just, like, drove off of a junkyard heap,
Yeah.
just, like, barreled down this back road, and it's kicking gravel everywhere. I was like, "We're about to get killed." Like, "What the fuck is happening?"
I couldn't, figure out if it was more like Mad Max or
Yeah,
Hills Have Eyes. I
a
don't know.
little bit of
I was a
both.
little like,
We were very thrown
I'm
off
like,
because, again, we had already driven up and down that road.
yeah.
And the town that we were in, that's it. There was nobody there. Nobody. And then all of a sudden we come back around to get up to where we were going, and all of these vehicles were there. I was like, "Oh my god. They've been stalking us. They were watching." Like, it
Mhm.
was just very unsettling.
Ugh.
So, but we did have a lot of fun yesterday. We went to 2 different locations. So at the very least, check it out on social media because 'cause we'll have some, hilarious
I can't
photos.
wait to see them. Oh my god.
They are in the Google Drive.
They are?
Yeah. I haven't edited them or, like, done anything, but yes. So we have a lot of funny video or pictures and videos
There are
also.
some, yeah, I
Yeah.
took some.
Yep. So, uh, bringing it around to social media, checks out on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. We do have a YouTube. We don't talk about that enough. We'll probably be on
We need to
YouTube
start
for this one.
utilizing YouTube
We
more,
really do. We're
especially
really
this
bad.
whole video, I think we need to
Yes, we will
post.
put yeah, this one will definitely be up on YouTube, but all of it is Ghost Tracks Podcast. You just type that into that little search bar, comes up. Share us out with your friends. Make sure to like and follow. I guess I also don't say like and follow or like and follow and comment on the actual podcast. Like if you're listening,
Yeah.
wherever you're
Interact with
listening,
us.
yeah, go ahead and because it just helps us get put out more on, their main pages like Spotify and Apple. It'll start suggesting us more if we have, reviews.
Yeah.
Nice ones would be great.
At this point, we'll
Don't
take
be
any.
right. Don't be like, "These girls are fucking annoying."
Well, you know what? Then I'll be like,
We
score.
are! But yeah, so make sure to do all of that, and then if you've been to the Stanley or anywhere that you wanna tell us about, you can do that at ghosttrackspodcast@gmail.com. Also, like, message us with your suggestions on email or any of the socials that I've mentioned. Tell us, like, where would you like us to go and check out, like, if we are able to do that?
Or your own personal creepy experiences.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you can tell us yours, but where would you like us to go and investigate with all of our stuff? If you have a suggestion on, like, an equipment that you use in your hunts that you're like, "Hey, you guys should really get one of these. I think it would, be utilized really well in your hunts." Do that too.
Mhm.
Comment.
We're slowly upgrading our
We are.
stuff.
We are. We are trying really hard. I mean, we're doing good. We're being,
Mhm.
like, beginner-ish, like, professionals.
Pre-professional.
Professionals. We will never be professional.
Professional.
We won't
That's a
be.
big title, a heavy title to carry. I don't
Yeah,
know if I can carry it.
I'm not carrying it. I'm just gonna be the
Phil,
absolute
Phil,
feral
carry the weight.
dipshit that I am, and y'all are just gonna either take it or leave it, so, um, but yeah, I think that's all that we've got for here. Again, thank you to Amanda for coming
Yes,
on
thank you
and
so much.
sharing your experience there at the Stanley. Congratulations again. We're so So glad that we ran into you
Yeah.
at Greenwood
She was
Ambiance.
a great storyteller.
She was. She's fantastic.
Like, I had a
So,
whole list of questions here, and she was like, I
yep.
feel like she may be a little bit of a psychic
She was reading the
because
phone from here.
literally well, I have a screen protector, you can't see that,
I know it was a joke.
but, like, literally, she was running down the questions, and I think I only got a couple in there where that she didn't
Yeah.
cover.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, until next time, stay creepy. Bye.
Bye.